Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and to another build battle challenge hosted by Havana Sims. Today's challenge, we have gone to the beautiful city of San Myshuno and we are working on the 2B Jasmine suite. So the info card says, a family of 4 has just moved into 2B with an energetic toddler and a fussy baby. They simply don't have enough money to afford a bigger apartment. They do, however, have enough to enlist our help in turning this apartment around. Their needs are 3 bedrooms, a separation of kitchen and living room, and a pink color scheme in the baby's room. So the players that we have battling out in this challenge are Havana Sims, Carrie Plays, Hip Hip Renee, Maple Simmer, Ashuria, Bree Simulated, Hazy, B-Ray Sunny, and of course myself. So we are renovating this tiny apartment for this growing family. There's currently 3 members and they have a baby, or they're either expecting a baby or they have a baby already. In the family that I imagined, they're expecting a baby, so they don't actually have it yet. However, this apartment is on the snug side for a family of 4. So it took me a while to get the floor plan laid out. You guys, I am not the best at small, tiny builds or small spaces. It was a little bit tricky. I did not film the whole process I took in trying to figure out the floor plan for this apartment because it took way longer than I would like to admit. However, in the end, I'm really happy with what I ended up with. So when you walk through the door, the first thing you see on the left is the kitchen, and I sort of forgot about a dining room when I planned out the floor plan. So I ended up throwing the dining room kind of in the middle of the apartment, like off the kitchen. There's like a little nook area where there's a computer, and I just kind of squeezed a dining room in the middle of that. Like, it is a tight space. Like, this apartment is not very big at all. I wasn't 100% sure that that dining area was gonna work, but I play tested it. I stopped my build, got some Sims moved in, play tested it, and it worked out just fine. There's a high chair in there for the toddler that they have, and it worked out great. They were able to get the toddler in and out of the chair. However, you guys, I don't normally play with high chairs because they're just kind of buggy. They're glitchy in my game. I don't know if they're glitchy for you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. But my Sims are constantly want to put the kids in the high chair and then take them out, but they don't ever feed them. So it's just kind of a hot mess. So this apartment does have just 1 bathroom. It is a decent sized bathroom for the apartment. I did keep the bathroom in the original space that it was. In the floor plan, I didn't change where the bathroom was. I was trying to work it out somewhere else, but in the end, I felt like the place that it was currently in was just the best place for it overall. So I did make sure that there is a tub available so you can bathe the little kiddos, because you can't bathe them without a tub. So we do have that, and we have a double sink. We have a toilet. Everything that you need in order to take care of all of your Sims needs is packed into this tiny space, but it just works. I really wanted to use the banana leaf wallpaper that we received with the, was it the tropical update? Is that what it was called? I really love that wallpaper, and I keep trying to use it in builds, and I just can't seem to make it work. Every time I think this is it, I'm going to use it, I end up switching it out because it just doesn't work for what I'm building. So that was the case again this time. So I did use some parenthood tiles in the bathroom. I really wish we were getting more tiles. I think we are lacking tiles in the game. Sims team, give me more tiles, wall tiles and floor tiles, please and thank you. All right, so right now we're looking at the little study area, which is just off of the kitchen, and we're gonna see the dining space going in pretty soon. This is about the point that I realized, oh yeah, they kind of need a place to eat. So I do throw in the table here, and it really really works out. But this space, even though it's tight and it's not a huge apartment, it doesn't feel like it's too cramped to me. I think it just flows pretty nicely. I was pretty happy that I was able to make this apartment flow in a way that it didn't feel like it was too cramped, because originally this apartment was only 2 bedrooms and we needed to make it 3 bedrooms, which was a bit on the tricky side. But, you know, playing around with the wall placement and kind of making the rooms a little bit smaller than I normally would, it works out. So the kitchen is tiny. It's not huge at all, but there is plenty of counter space for your Sims to get their cooking done. I usually like to put islands in builds, but of course there just was not enough space for something like that. I considered doing like an island seating close to the front door, but I just didn't really think that was, you know, really practical to have seats right by the front door when you're walking in. So I decided against that. But I really like how the kitchen turned out. It's super cute. I did use some items from the debug catalog to use as clutter in the kitchen. I cut a bunch of that out of this video because I spent so much time scrolling through that catalog looking for things that I wanted to use. I really wish that there was a way that we could filter those items to make it a bit easier to find what you're looking for. Unfortunately, there isn't. However, I am thankful that we do have access to the items. So here's the dining room going in right now. And at first I thought it wasn't gonna work, but like I said earlier, it works out just fine. The Sims route perfectly through this space. There are absolutely no issues. Now, as far as the catalog is concerned with the debug, if we could get so I've been thinking about this every time I'm building and I use the debug catalog, which is more often lately. I'm always wishing that there was a way that I could create my own favorites category, so I could just drop things that I like to use often or things that I find that maybe I want to use later on in my build process and I don't want to have to go through finding them again. I could just drop them in like a favorites slot so I can just grab it quickly when I'm ready to use it. That would be amazing. I would love to have that feature in the game. Don't know if we'll ever get anything like that. It would be super cool if we did. But until then, I will tediously be scrolling through the catalog looking for things that I need to use. And it just makes me wonder if people who often use the debug catalog, if they know exactly where to find things because they're in there so much. I'd be curious to know. So if you're a builder and you use the debug catalog, do you find it tricky to find the things that you want to use, or are you in there so much that you just kind of know where to scroll to get what you're looking for? I often forget what's even debug versus not debug, so sometimes I'm looking in the regular catalog and I'm like, where is this plant that I really like to use? And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's debug, or vice versa. Anywho, so I did spend quite a bit of time cluttering this apartment. We did not have a budget for this particular build, but I did try to keep it manageable, sort of. I didn't really pay that much attention to it. I initially started out this build without a family moved in, and then I did move a family in so I could play test as I built. So in the end, I think they had 24,000 simoleons when they moved in. I ended up with about 300 simoleons or so left over by the time I was done. So yeah, the build is moderately priced. You know, I figured this family didn't have enough money to actually build their own house, but I'm gonna say that they did well enough in order to afford a bit of an upgrade for this apartment that they moved into. So I did give this family a backstory, but before I tell you about the backstory, I do want to mention we just looked at the living room and there are sofas that I used in there that I absolutely loved to create this little sectional, and I really believed in my heart that they came with cats and dogs, but they did not, unfortunately. They came with my first pet stuff pack, and that was a limited pack that we were not allowed to use in this build. So in the end, I did have to switch that out for some parenthood couches. You'll see that in the screenshots at the end of the build. So I was in the middle of telling you guys a story, and now I have forgotten what I was gonna say. So anyway, so in this living room, I wanted it to have like a cozy family gathering feel. And I wanted it to be bright and colorful. So initially I went with this like seafoam green and yellow color theme, which I really loved. But in the end, I do switch it out for parenthood couches, and I believe it's the white and the yellow couch that I replace it with. So it still kind of works into the color theme that I had going on in this living room. I didn't really change the colors of too much of anything else. I did add some of the cushions that came with toddler stuff, I believe, which those are super cute. They're really versatile to use in any kind of build, not just for kids, but just like cushions for people to sit on, or they look really nice if you put them underneath like a coffee table. If you're using one that has glass, or you can kind of see underneath, it's really nice as like an accessory piece that your Sims might not necessarily be sitting on, but you can use it as more of a deco item. So that was a really cute idea. I really like that. So I did put a couple of those in the living room also, because it is a smaller space, so there wasn't a whole lot of room for additional seating. That's why I was really happy to use the sectional option with the sofas that came with my first pet stuff pack, but I did have to remove it. So in its place, I used a couple of those cushions just to allow for some additional seating in the living room. Now there's also that toy chest that's just a deco item, but I really wish that was like a functional toy chest like the others that we have in the game. That would be really cute if it was functional and kids could pull toys out of there and play with them. I know people that I'm friends with that have smaller children, they usually have bins in their family room or living rooms where there are toys, because the kids are in there, they're playing with stuff, and it's just a place to kind of throw them to keep the place as neat as possible, which I don't know, maybe it's a little bit tricky to do that when you have kids. I'm thinking maybe, but it would be cool if that piece was functional, because it is a really cute toy gathering or storage area, and it would be really awesome if it was functional. However, it's just deco, but it looks cute anyway. So I put a mirror in the living room on the back wall. I tend to really like mirrors. And then I've been using this candle set that came with the the free holiday update that we got. It looks really cute as just an accent light piece in a room, on an accent table, or even on a dining table. I've been using that quite a bit lately. And then I did utilize a lot of shelves in this build as well. And I thought that for an apartment, maybe you would have a lot of shelves around the apartment because the space is smaller. You don't have as much storage as you would in a house. So you need to utilize all of the space that you have available to you at a maximum. So you can maximize the space. What am I trying to say? So you can maximize the limited space that you have, especially for a family that is going to be 4 Sims big. I mean, this apartment really is pretty small for a family of 4. So I really hope that they can get it together and scrounge up some simoleons so they can get themselves a house, or at least a bigger apartment, sooner than later, especially when the baby comes. That's what I'm hoping for my family anyway. Will it happen? I don't know. Probably not, because I don't plan on playing with them, but good luck to them in the future. I'm pretty sure they'll still be in this apartment. Okay, so in the toddler's room, yes, this is supposed to be a toddler's room, you guys. Your eyes are not fooling you. I know this is the child's bed. I started decoing this room, and then I realized, oh, wrong size bed that I've put in here. So I do switch that out a little bit later, but I did go for a kind of blue, orange, and green color scheme in this room, which I really thought was really cute. I did use that rug that comes with, it's either Parenthood or Toddler Stuff. I think it might be Toddler Stuff pack, which surprisingly, there were no beds that came with the Toddler Stuff pack, which I did not realize because I don't use that pack very much. And when I was looking for a toddler bed to swatch out for the child's bed that I had mistakenly put in the room, I realized that there are no beds that we received with a Toddler Stuff pack. Like, does that make sense to you guys? It doesn't make sense to me that we didn't receive toddler beds. Hopefully we get some more toddler beds in the future because we're definitely lacking in toddler beds. We are lacking in content for kids, toddlers, babies just need an overhaul altogether because babies aren't even really a thing. I mean, I take that back. They are a thing. They're not actual Sims. They are just objects in the game, which is kind of silly to me. I wish we had more options to interact with our babies, that we had more items and activities for toddlers and children. They just kind of fall flat in this game for me, and we don't really have a whole lot for teens either. Teens don't even really look like teens in this game. They just look like young adults, which is kind of weird. When your teen ages up from a teen to young adult, you don't really notice a whole lot of change. But that's also kind of true for young adult to adult. There isn't a whole lot of difference between the stages from teen to adult. And then once you hit elder, your sim just kind of loses all semblance of what they used to look like. So suddenly they're super wrinkled, they can't stand up straight, they're constantly arching over because their back hurts, and I'm like, this is really not how it is. At least I hope, you guys, because I don't want to wake up one day on one of my birthdays and just suddenly have tons of wrinkles everywhere, can't walk, can't stand up straight, my back hurts. That ain't sounding like fun to me. So yeah, I wish we could do some updating and changes with the aging system in The Sims. I think that would be amazing. Okay, back to the build. I'm getting off topic here. So the nursery needed to be a pink color scheme. I didn't have a ton of space for this room, but since babies are objects anyway, I didn't figure that we needed a ton of space for it. So I did use the new crib that came with Realm of Magic, which is super cute. And then I grabbed some debug items, those little hearts that are hanging on the wall. I used those that came from the debug catalog. And then I also created like a build your own changing station. I took 2 chairs and then put a bench seat in the middle of that to kind of pretend that we have a baby changing station. Now I did get this idea from Cyberdoll YT. I've seen her do it in most of her nurseries. I thought it was a super cool idea, so I did borrow that from her. Thank you so much, Cyberdoll YT, for your creativity. So you guys, we are coming to the end of this build. I hope you did enjoy it very much, and if you've made it this far, that's amazing, and thank you so much for being here. Now, if you would like to vote for your favorite build, then there is a link in the description down below. So check out all of the other people who are included in this build challenge. All of their links to their channels are linked below as well. Check them all out and then head over to the voting link and vote for your favorite. Who did it best? Who do you think should win this renovation battle challenge? And a big shout out and thumbs up, what am I saying? A big shout out to Havana Sims for hosting these build challenges, because they're always so much fun, and there are so many talented simmers that are involved, and it's all in good fun, and it's always a blast. So you guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to become a member of the Bubble Fam, hit that sub button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And don't forget, you guys, make sure you check out those other videos as part of this challenge of all the simmers that I mentioned at the beginning. They are all linked down below. And don't forget to vote for your favorite renovation. So as always, guys, thank you so much for being here with me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
I recall the past again tonight. It's in the front of my mind. As I fall apart, you begin to cry. The tears are making you blind. The future's far away, but I'll stay, I'll stay. Just take a leap of faith. We'll find a way for you and me. Can't look back, can't run from what I feel inside. There's no more time to hide, because